Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision.
Hi, everybody. I am so honored and I feel so privileged because I have an award-winning journalist with us. It's Jane Velez-Mitchell. Hello. I know
Hello.
If we had an audience, they'd be stamping their feet and clapping. And I can't even go through all the awards you have. I've got like all of them here, but you've done so many things. My God, you've won so many awards all over. You've been in New York. You've been in California. You've been in Florida and Minneapolis, and my God, you've been in
Philly.
In Philly.
Yeah.
My God. Well, the one thing we know about Philly is that you don't eat Philly cheesesteaks.
No, but now, actually, Philadelphia has become a vegan mecca.
It is.
Yes.
This
And not
is-
when I worked there.
This is your passion. Tell
Yes.
us about your passion.
Well, Char, you're holding a beautiful, angelic dog
I
in your lap, and look, he's licking your nose right now, and his name is Sunny, and he's an angel. And
He is.
as much as I love dogs, I have 3 Chihuahua rescues and a rescue cat, me and my partner. And I love dogs, but dogs aren't most animals. If you look at
Right.
the entire cosmos of animals, most animals today are farm animals, and they are just like our dogs and cats. And pigs actually have a higher IQ than dogs. And what we do to them in the
That's
factory farming system
horrible.
is morally reprehensible. One
Horrible.
day, and I think we're already starting because of video and great groups like Mercy for Animals and PETA that go undercover and produce these videos and just show what's going on. If you did this to your dog, any number of these routine procedures, you'd be arrested for animal cruelty. But these poor creatures are exempt. They don't get a name, they get a number. Pigs, as I say, have a higher IQ than dogs, kept in crates the size of their bodies, never able to turn around. They become psychotic. If you did that to your little doggy there for
Horrible.
1 day or 24 hours or 48 hours, you'd be arrested. So we have to change things. Americans are decent people. It was kept from them. Now they're finding out, and people are saying, no, this is wrong. And the other thing is that meat production is one of the biggest causes of climate change. And nobody talks about it because the media essentially is controlled by the advertisers, the meat and dairy industry. The government is controlled by the lobbyists. And so what happens is, even when the World Health Organization comes out and says, hey, we're summarizing 800 in-depth studies, and processed meat is a carcinogen. It's like smoking a cigarette. You still have people giving nuggets to their kids. And I say to them, why don't you give your kid a cigarette while you're at it? Because it's the same thing. And it's totally unnecessary. I don't want to monopolize the conversation because I could talk about this for years,
Okay.
but I'll suffice it to say this. We live, and this is like truth bomb. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts.
Okay.
Truth bomb. We live in a carnist society. And that is essentially the invisible belief system that indoctrinates us to love some animals and kill others. And it's all entirely unnecessary. I haven't eaten meat for decades. Here I am standing right before you. It's not good for you. The China study and others show that a plant-based diet is the healthiest diet, best for longevity, best to reduce cancer, best to control heart disease, America's leading preventable killer. So it's good for the planet, plant-based diet. It's good for the animals. It's good for people. Why aren't we adopting it? Because we live in an addict nation and we're addicted to meat and dairy.
I can add one more thing.
Sure.
Sometimes they'll take a cow. The cow will have cancer. They'll cut the cancer out and still serve the meat.
Well, that's the least of it. I mean, they're cutting their tails off. They're castrating
Right.
pigs without anesthesia. I mean, what they're doing to these
But
animals.
I'm talking about people can be eating meat that has cancer.
Well, I mean, frankly, most of the antibiotics that are used in the United States are used on
Right.
animals because if not, they'd get so sick and die. Hypothetically, those antibiotics are supposed to pass through the system, but the USDA is a joke. They don't catch anything, and they'd rather pay the fines. So you wonder why kids, the same thing with hormones. Kids are developing, there's adolescent puberty at 8 and 10. These girls are developing breasts because the hormones, they found out that hormones encourage the cows and the other animals to grow faster. What they want to do is fatten this animal up as fast as they can to take it to slaughter. Now, those hormones, again, are supposed to pass through the system. They don't. You're seeing kids develop puberty I'm sure you've all heard about this. It's because they're consuming meat and dairy products. The fact is, we're not designed to steal the milk from another species and consume it for ourselves. Once we're weaned from our own mother's milk, there's no need for us to drink milk, period. And if we want that sense of milk...
Cashew milk. I drink it every day. The vanilla cashew milk. It's only like 25 calories. It's delicious. I drink it every single day.
And you look marvelous, darling.
Well, thank you, darling. Okay, so you're talking about addiction. You wrote a book about addiction. What's the name of your book?
Addict Nation.
Addict Nation.
Yes.
And tell us about that.
Well, I have the dubious honor of being an expert in addiction. I'm 21 years sober. I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, truly, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That proves how strong your mind is.
Well, actually, I can't take credit for it. That's the thing. It's an interesting dichotomy. Willpower doesn't work with addiction. Actually, you have to surrender to being powerless over the substance. It's a dichotomy. It's kind of a mystery, and I know you like mysteries, so it's sort of a psychic mystery. The more you try to use your willpower, the worse it is. But when you realize that you are powerless over the substance, and that's the definition of addiction, that you simply cannot say no. I mean, every day for years I would say, I'm not going to have a drink tonight. I won't have a drink. I'd use every ounce of my willpower, and by the end of the evening I was having drinks. So when I finally gave in and realized I'm powerless, and the only power I have is the power to realize I'm so powerless I cannot touch that substance. I cannot negotiate successfully with that substance. That substance always wins. Then you walk away from the negotiating table, you stop dealing with that substance, and you can free yourself.
And do you help other people with...
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of
Are you
people
in
call
AA
me.
or-
Well, it's an anonymous program, so
Right, you can't say.
we don't
right,
talk
you don't
about
talk
that.
about it. But do you help other people with their addictions?
Yes, when I've written 2 books about addiction. My memoir, I Want, which is my journey from addiction and overconsumption to a simpler, honest life. And that, a lot of people have called me and said, I was having trouble with alcohol, or I was having trouble with drugs. I wasn't a drug addict, but it's the same thing. The substance can change. And I also talk about how I came out after I got sober, because as long as I was drinking, it's a very complex thing, because people say, well, why'd you drink? Well, it's, as the shrinks would say, multi-determined. It's not one particular reason. There's genetic component. My dad was a high-functioning alcoholic, advertising executive right out of Mad Men with the 3 martinis and all that.
Wow.
Great guy, but alcoholic.
Wow.
And, so I have a genetic predisposition, but I also had...
He was Irish, right?
He was Irish. My mom was Puerto Rican, and my dad was Irish. And my dad was right out of Mad Men. I mean, just like classic. He worked on Madison Avenue. He was a Madison Avenue advertising executive.
That's crazy.
I know. It's so funny, right? With the 3 martinis, and he smoked a pipe. And he was just right out of that era.
That's great.
And he was a great guy. He was a wonderful guy in a lot of ways. But he was an alcoholic. And then the other thing that I realized was that I was drinking down my sexual orientation, because I look back now and I could tell that I was gay from the get-go, because it's not something you choose, you are.
Right.
And yet we live, just like we live in a carnist society that indoctrinates us to eat meat, even though it's unnecessary.
Right.
We live in a heterosexual society that indoctrinates us into a heterosexual path. And, I'm turning 61 next week.
You are not.
Yes, I am.
Oh my God, you look good.
Thank you. And
What?
the thing is that when I was growing up, I didn't really even have it in my consciousness that I could be gay. It didn't enter my mind. Like, I now look back and I know, wow, the reason I kept bumming cigarettes off that one girl in high school there was a reason there. I had a crush on her.
Oh.
But, we had such sort of freight train of this is the train you're going to get on, right? And I really tried hard to be a heterosexual. But second, I don't want to tell you how hard I tried. We'll leave that on the editing floor. But actually, it was a boyfriend who I'm still very friendly with, my last boyfriend, and he said, "You're going to stop drinking. You have 2 more drunk episodes, and that's it." So after one particularly embarrassing night at a party in Hollywood, in the Hollywood Hills, I was kind of like, life of the party kind of. There's drunks come in all different varieties, and I wasn't the stay-at-home drink quietly by myself type. So after one particularly embarrassing night, I woke up, he was gone, I go, "Oh my God, I've done it again." And that was the last time I had a drink. If I had seen him sleeping on the couch, I probably wouldn't have sobered up, but I didn't. So I called a friend who had been urging me to get sober, and I jumped, and I had a psychic shift. I mean, I really did, and I've never had a drink since. But the point is that the second I really sobered up, all the feelings that I had been suppressing came right to the surface, and it became abundantly clear to me that now that I couldn't hide behind a glass of Chardonnay, I had to face my truth. And I remember I was I was late for my therapist's appointment, so I pulled over to get my car washed, which that's really smart, right? You're running late for your expensive therapist, let's get your car washed. But I got on the phone, this is back when they had pay phones, and I got on the phone, I said, I'm not going to make the appointment, so I'll just do a phone session while my car's getting detailed, and I think I'm gay. And he said, "That's very good, Jane," because he knew all along.
Oh.
People, you can usually tell, right? I mean, there are secrets, but there's no secrets. People kind of know. Nobody was like, "Oh my God, I'm shocked."
Were your parents living then?
My mom was. My dad wasn't. I don't know how he would have accepted it. He was very conservative and old-fashioned. He was born in 1916. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, my mom lived to 99 and a half. She
God
just died
bless her. Oh,
about
God
a year
bless
and a
her.
half ago.
And was she okay with it?
Oh, you know what she said? Because she was in showbiz. She was the last of the vaudevilles.
Oh.
She said, "Darling, when I was with Xavier Cugat, we were all like that."
Wow. Okay, so many Americans are susceptible to addiction. And why do you think that? And what can we do about it?
Well, I think it's part of the human condition. And in fact, I think everybody has something. I mean, if you're not addicted to alcohol or drugs or sex or gambling or spending or debt or food, which is a huge addiction in this country. I would include meat and dairy addiction. We know that cheese has an addictive component. And there's books that talk about this because in mother's milk, there's a morphine-like quality that encourages the baby to drink the mother's milk. And so there's an addictive component there to milk and then all dairy products like cheese and ice cream. If you ask people what they're most addicted to, the most addictive substance, they'll often say ice cream. And that's got that texture, that soothing maternal texture, mother's milk, that comforting. There's a reason, So why are Americans more addicted? I mean, I think that there's always been alcoholism, and now we have a lot more to be addicted to. And the thing is that the internet supersizes addictions, and I talk about this in Addict Nation. You can experience more porn in one night on the internet or one weekend than you could going from brothel to brothel in an entire year. And the same thing is true with gambling. You can gamble more games on the internet in a very short period of time than you can going around the country gambling. And there were even people who said that the modern day gamblers have become so good that the old table gamblers can't keep up with them because their level of expertise has been honed by just the sheer amount of time that they spend just gambling addictively online. And they also use logarithms and things that people who are at a gambling table don't use because they have access to computers and they use computer formulations. But this is why. I mean, I did a test when I was writing my book, Addict Nation. How long would it take me to get to hardcore porn without paying a cent? And literally, in a minute and a half, you can get to some seriously gross porn. And I think that's really horrifying. And there's some people who are saying that kids now don't even want to have sex. they'd rather do porn.
Okay, that's really scary. But you said something earlier about your own addiction that as soon as you faced the truth, you were freed.
Well, I think addiction is a very tricky thing, and it's a disease of amnesia. And I like to talk about stupid things I did when I was drunk. I was very lucky. I didn't lose the house, the car, or the job, but and I always prided myself, just like my dad, never missed a day of work. Maybe there were days that I should have missed a day of work.
You're incredible. You are incredible on the air. You're incredible.
Oh, well, you're
truly,
sweet.
you're
Thank
incredible. And in the court cases that you followed, and the Michael Jackson stuff you followed, I mean, you really are part of history.
Well, I mean, I was a fly on the wall of some really cool cases, and to be in the courtroom when Michael Jackson was there was pretty.
Did you see on the news recently that the
Wade Robson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that it's a mystery that's never going to be solved. I think it's very important to say that he was acquitted. Did he have tendencies? It's such a. It reminds me of the JonBenet Ramsey case. All these cases have one thing in common. Tremendous evidence points one way, and tremendous evidence points the other way. So you can never be sure because, he did raise some pretty good kids too.
Right.
And so
He did.
that doesn't really jive with the whole notion of what he's accused of. And so by the same token, you could go to Neverland, which I have, and you could walk around and say, this is flypaper for somebody who wants access to children. And then the sleeping over situation, a lot of it was very icky. That's why he got charged, because of that Martin Bashir, special where he had the little boy on his shoulder and they were talking about sleepovers. But then it came out that that family was maybe not the best family to use as the test case.
That's
because they had problems.
so. But sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire. Or how do you know? You don't know.
I mean,
I'm not here to judge anybody.
I don't know if it's true. I really feel sorry for these kids who were so messed up, because the other part of the dynamic that's so disturbing is that kids who are molested often defend the molesters, because they've confused the love that they've gotten with love. So they feel a tremendous loyalty. So it creates so much internal conflict.
Did you see the recent interview with JonBenet Ramsey's brother?
I saw clips of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty weird.
He smiled through the whole thing.
Yeah, he smiled and laughed inappropriately.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Well, as I was saying to somebody, if you look at any family closely, they're going to look weird. There's going to be some weird stuff. There's no functional family. So when you take a murder and then you superimpose it on top of a family, then you can hone in on the weird oddball kid and say, ooh, look at him. But pretty much every family has a weird oddball in it.
Tony's raising his hand. Our engineer, Tony. Our engineer. He owns the whole UBN. So, okay. So, God, there's so much I want to ask you about.
How about Donald Trump?
Okay. Yeah, because I really wanted to talk about civil rights and what's going on with the election, and what do you think about Donald Trump?
I think he's a pathological liar. And I've studied pathological liars in depth for the court cases I've covered, and the book I wrote, which was a New York Times bestseller, Exposed: The Secret Life of Jodi Arias. And she's a pathological liar. And I've also, once I had a chance to study them, then I was able to pick up on people who lie pathologically in my life that I've met. And I studied them. Not a lot, but I've run into a couple of people who are pathological liars.
Right.
And it's really that they're colorblind to the truth. People who are colorblind can't see color. It's not there. It doesn't exist for them. That's the way pathological liars are. They are completely colorblind to the truth. It's a dead issue. It's like they can't hear it. They're deaf to it. Whatever comes out of their mouth is their truth. And so they can lie with abandon very effectively. And they seduce people because they're so believable. Just like Jodi Arias got on the stand for 18 days and told, real lies, horrific lies in detail about the man she murdered, Travis Alexander. And once you start listening with the ear of, well, let's hear the pathological liar at work, you start seeing certain descriptions that are very colorful. Like she accused him of being a pedophile who basically liked child porn with boys. And she said, I walked into his room one day and he was on the bed and I was embarrassed. And all of a sudden, a photograph fell off the bed and it twirled and it landed at my feet face up. That's it. That's right there. You can say, okay, that's not how it goes. That's not usually how it happens, right? That I'm going to walk in and there's a photo I don't want you to see and it's going to fall right at your feet.
Right.
So when you start like looking at how things are described, you could start seeing the hallmarks of a pathological liar. The other thing they do, which Donald Trump does, they accuse people
of things that aren't true.
Of what they do. It's more than they accuse people of exactly what they do. So it's like a projection. So he's the one who started the birther thing. So he then accuses Hillary Clinton of starting the birther thing when she had nothing to do with it. So he was the one who went around saying, it's very suspicious. Why don't we see President Obama's birth certificate over and over again? I mean, we were there, so we know that's what happened. So when he's finally put in a politically awkward situation, instead of saying, what somebody else would say, perhaps, I don't know anybody who would actually try to accuse the President of the United States of not being born in the United States. But
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just, it's so blatantly racist. But, he might say, I made a real mistake and I shouldn't have done that. No, he said, Hillary Clinton is the one who started the whole birther issue. I ended it. So what they do often is accuse the person of the very thing that they have done. And it's, if you start noticing that pattern, you'll see it over and over again with pathological liars.
This is so scary. How do we get to the people who are...
The other thing they do is that they exude a lot of generic love. They're very seductive. And Jodi Arias is seductive. Donald Trump is seductive in his own way. And they're people who can make instant friends. And that's exactly what Donald Trump did. He goes, I love you. I love you. He doesn't know people in the audience. He doesn't know 5,000, 10,000 people. How does he know that he loves all these people? What if there are horrible people in the audience? He's just exuding love. I love you.
I also think that he's rich, he has money, and everybody thinks that they'll have money. If he's the president, they'll have money too, and they'll have easy lives, and they'll have a beautiful wife, and they'll have whatever.
Yeah, I think there's some kind of, psychiatrist could probably analyze. He's not appealing to people's rationality. He's appealing to subliminal stuff. You talk about why is America an addict nation?
And he's brainwashing. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But we're hit with subliminal advertising, thousands of images, and we're the first few generations in the history of humankind that go through life. Everywhere you go, billboards, radio, TV, the internet, you're being hit with all this subliminal information. And this is what, the advertising geniuses do. They equate things that have nothing to do with sex appeal, patriotism, status, family, and they'll take a hamburger and they'll say, subliminally, they'll equate it. You ever see all those beautiful girls with the ketchup running down their breasts eating a hamburger? Mm-hmm. You ever see those people in a fast food restaurant?
No.
They don't eat there. I've had my friends who are actresses who are vegans saying, I don't know what to do. I got to pay my rent. I've been offered a burger commercial.
It's weird.
They hire the vegans to do these commercials.
I was driving from here to Fresno with a friend last Sunday, and there was a sign on the farm in the farmland that said "Make America Great Again." Didn't have anybody's name on it.
Yeah.
Didn't have anybody's name on it.
A farmer with too much time on his hands, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really scary. And
well, I will say this. It's kind of provocative, but I think considering Donald Trump Jr. Was talking about firing up the gas chambers, he used that reference that the Anti-Defamation League came out and said, stop making light of the Holocaust, which, is part of the whole, what I said at first when he came out against Mexicans as his first thing when he first announced his campaign, Donald Trump. And so some people who weren't Mexicans sort of were like, well, I said to them, he'll get to your group. Give him time.
Right.
So, he said racist things about African Americans. Obviously, he's sexist. He grades women on a numbers basis. So, and now we hear, in this whole alt-right world, the anti-Semitism is coming up. Haters hate, and they will always expand their circle of compassion.
And
their circle of hatred.
When he met with the Mexican president, the Mexican president said one thing, Donald Trump said another about the meeting.
Yeah, well, I don't know what the Mexican president was thinking meeting with this man. I mean, that was like, hello. And I know that the people of Mexico, I mean, the guy's already got horrible poll ratings, and it was like the most ill-advised, stupid thing to do. And the former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox, came out and said, this was a super dumb move. Why give this guy any credibility? But the media, the American media is doing it. I mean, he says whoppers that are so clearly lies. And they talk about maybe stretching the truth. He said, he came out and said, Ford's going to get rid of all their American workers and they're going to take all the jobs to Mexico. Now, the head of Ford had to go on television and say, it's a lie. We're not doing that. There's 85,000 Ford workers that work in the United States, and we've increased our American workforce by 50% in the last 5 years.
Oh, my.
What we are doing is we're building a factory in Mexico, and we're hiring 2,800 approximately Mexican workers. And instead of saying, oh, my God, that's a bald-faced lie. You scared the wits out of 85,000 people. If you're working for Ford and you see that, you go, oh, my God, should I pay this check today for my kid's education or whatever? Are the media didn't even call him on it. They didn't even call him on it. What they did was they grilled the president of Ford and said, well, why are you building in Mexico? Like there's a crime to build factories in Mexico? So the Mexican people can't have, if they come here for work, oh, well, that's a horrible thing. And if they have work in Mexico now, apparently it's a horrible thing too. It's the demonization of the Mexican culture, where Donald Trump can build in Europe. He has golf courses, no problem with that. He can have all his suits made in China. Oh, that's okay.
But you know what you're making me think? You're making me think, and all of us at home think, that this is a reality show that's going on in our media and in our press. We're not thinking about taking care of politically about our families and our well-being and safety on our soil as much as watching this reality show. That's what it is.
I remember I was in Amsterdam and I stood outside Anne Frank's museum, her house, and I couldn't go in because the line was so long and
I've been there.
It was hours of wait, and I should have gotten a ticket in advance, but I didn't know.
You go at 5 o'clock.
Oh,
Anybody wants to know, you go at 5 o'clock right before they close, and you go right in, because I live there. I lived in Amsterdam.
I would love to go back. I love Amsterdam. And I thought to myself, this gorgeous city with this beautiful, the canals and the gorgeous homes and the perfectly manicured, how could something so horrible happen in all over Europe if you go to these
so
beautiful
true.
Places?
So true.
And yet, now we're seeing how it could happen. Now we're seeing here in the United States the process. Because Hitler won an election.
It's true. It's true. And
And people said the same thing. Oh, I don't think he means it. I don't really think he's serious about it. I've had people say that to me. Oh, what Donald Trump says, he's not really serious about those things.
Yeah. That it's the mental health of our country. People need to shape up and get real. Wow. You really are incredible. You're so bright. You're so smart. I want to know what's happening with you. Where are you going next? What's next for you?
After I leave here? I think maybe I'll go to Veggie Grill and have a vegan dinner. Well, I'm having a lot of fun. I'm doing something called Lunch Break Live on Facebook Live.
Oh.
So we have 207,000 followers on Facebook, facebook.com/Jane Velez-Mitchell.
Do we have that
and,
up?
Facebook.com/Jane Velez-Mitchell without the hyphen on Facebook.
Okay.
And I do animal rights videos. I've started something called Jane Unchained. And I do JaneUnchained.com, and I do animal rights news because we're covering stories that the mainstream media doesn't cover. But I also do a daily vegan cooking show with my girlfriend, who is That Snarky Vegan Girl. And that's her name on Instagram. And we do a daily cooking show Monday through Friday. You'll have to be on.
I would love to.
We'd love to have you on.
I would love to be
We'll go to your
on.
house. You don't have to even come to ours.
Okay.
If you have Wi-Fi, that's all we need.
Okay. Maybe, do I get to cook?
As long as it's vegan, as long as there's no
No. I'll make a
No meat or
I'll
dairy.
make a challah.
Oh, what's that?
It's a Jewish bread. It's an egg bread.
Oh.
Can you use eggs?
No.
Oh, then we
no.
won't use eggs.
Let me tell you something about eggs.
We won't use eggs.
They don't need the boys. Okay, they need hens.
I'll make something else.
So they kill
I'll
all
make
the boys.
vegetarian chili.
They grind them up.
I'll make vegetarian chili.
Do you know that in Israel, 8 to 13% of Israel has gone vegetarian and vegan? And it's the hotbed of animal rights in the world. Because
And probably healthier, right?
so much healthier.
So much healthier.
I've been to Israel recently, and it's just unbelievable. Vegan everywhere.
It's
It's fantastic.
It's so wonderful, really, truly wonderful.
And also in
Are you
all
writing
over-
a cookbook? You guys writing a cookbook?
We just were asked to possibly do one.
I see it in your future.
We
I
also-
do. I feel it. I see it. I think you guys are gonna do more with this stuff.
I feel like I've talked too much. I haven't let you talk.
I'm not supposed to talk.
Really?
I'm not supposed to talk. We're gonna get together.
I thought you were going to tell me
hang
about
out.
my mom who passed away. That was I was
okay,
waiting for.
Well, we have to wrap up the show now,
No.
but I would love to talk to you about your mom. We'll figure that out. We'll find a time to do that, sweetheart. I'm sorry that it's so hard when we when we become orphans.
and
no
think
matter
about
how
this.
old
When
we
I
are.
think about my mom, I think that these cows who are in order for us to steal mother's milk, the cows have to be, the baby calves have to be deprived of it. And so every time I feel bad about my mom, I think these baby calves never spend a minute with their mother.
Oh, it's awful.
And that's why I redouble my efforts to help people transition to a compassionate diet.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing
you,
this with
Char.
us. Really, thank you. I love how passionate you are, and I know you're going to change some people's minds about how they're eating.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right here, right?
Yeah, right here.
Woo!
Okay, you guys, don't go away. I've got way more stuff coming, so just come back. Just come back. Hey, everybody, it's Char. Please join me in Encinitas at the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. I'm doing readings on November 4th. The tickets are only $25. And then on the 5th, I'm doing a day workshop where I teach you to be intuitive and psychic. Why not learn to prevent problems and attain goals in your life? I can't wait to see you there. Okay, we're back, and I have a very special guest right now, and I am told that this is maybe his first or second interview ever. So I'm honored that you chose us to be a part of sharing your knowledge. And your name, you like to be called Daniel
Daniel the Healer.
the Healer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Daniel the Healer. And you're an intuitive holistic energy healer.
Correct.
And you're a gazer. Tell us what that is.
Well, gazing is an interesting aspect, but I basically heal with heart energy.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like when you are I'm sorry to go there, but when you're at war and
It's okay.
and they come and bring the bombers and the laser-guided missiles, somebody has to light up where it goes so the bomb can follow the laser. Well, I do the same thing. Wherever I look, my heart energy goes. So,
Wow. But you do it for healing, not
I
destroying.
do it for, exactly. I do
You're,
it for
you're,
healing.
You're
but
like
it's
the
same,
opposite.
It's the same principle, but
Right. It's like a laser.
Yeah, I align people by sight and I figure out, the second vertebrae in the neck is off. And then so I look in my imagination, I look at that second vertebrae and then I run my heart energy and then it functions. The vertebrae says, oh, nice, now I know what I have to do. And it just goes back into place.
By itself.
By itself.
That's incredible. I believe you.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Wow. How did you first get started doing healing work?
This is really interesting. I did all kinds of things in my life. I was a hypnotist, I was a mortgage broker, a realtor, a computer programmer, but then I wanted to take private flying lessons, and I had such a hard time just figuring this out, reading through the manual. And somebody says, go and see a hypnotist. And I did. And the guy hypnotized me. I was there an hour. Gave me some suggestions, a little this, a little that. Came out of there. In 1 week, I learned the whole manual. I passed the test. It was, and that just blew my bubble. You know, I was.
How exciting!
Yeah, it is exciting. And so, hey, you can go into some altered state and you can tell people to change their lives. So a few weeks later, the doctor I went to put out a letter and said, I'm going to do a course. I said, sign me up. So, you know, I took a hypnosis course and then
Are you still flying?
No, I'm not flying anymore.
You're flying with the spirits.
Yes.
Wow. So what methods do you use to help people heal?
At this point, I have 4 specific methods I like to use.
Okay.
The most preferred one is quantum touch. Quantum touch is something that was put out a while ago. They have level 1, they have level 2. Anybody is interested, they want to figure it out, they can go to quantumtouch.com. But what it is, it's the most heart-centered healing modality that I ever came across. You learn how to heal with your heart. What basically the system is that in the in-breath, you go into your heart space, you accumulate all the energies, the intelligence that is around, you kind of fill yourself up with it, and on the out-breath, off it goes. And of course, wherever I focus my eyes, that's where it goes. So that's quantum touch. That's one of my modalities I use. Another modality I use is something that I kind of developed on my own for a while. That is psychic surgery. I go into people's psyche and I change things around. I remove blockages, I remove entities, I line up chakras, I repair the aura. I reseal the aura. If somebody has a broken aura, they lose energy, they don't know where they are in relation to their world. You need to be, they're not protected. I do all kinds of really, really odd things. If you've been everywhere and nobody's been able to help you, you come and see me.
That's incredible. And is some of the psychic surgery like maybe helping somebody take a tumor out or anything like that?
No, this is kind of different.
This is spiritual psychic surgery.
This is spiritual psychic surgery.
Okay,
I go
got
into
it.
somebody's psyche and with my imagination, like, you know, like I'll do something really simple. Somebody comes to me and they can't move forward, and I look at their psyche and their hands are bound.
Oh.
You know, or they're in some dungeon, in some
So you
cell.
free them.
So I take it, in my imagination, I take a knife and I cut the cords and I throw them into my psychic garbage dump, which goes into the light. And so I deal with all kinds of strange circumstances.
What is true healing and how can it occur?
Well, true healing has to occur on, we're kind of complicated. We're like complex beings. It's not so easy. We function on 4 levels: the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. And so if the reason that you have some illness or some pain, let's say it's in the emotional. I'm going to go to somebody who had a heart attack, and they basically for all of their lives they had circumstances that they heart pain, emotional heart pain. After a while, it will just be such that they will have a heart attack. It's just something, you know, you can go for a while, but then if it accumulates too much, then the body will give you a message through your illness, through your pain. And so the very first point that you have to pursue when you want to do healing is that you need to find out what the message is. You need to find the underlying message of why you have this illness. Now, you know, I have to back up a little. Do you mind?
Sure, no.
Okay.
Stage
We're backing up. We're going to before you're born.
Oh.
And so you decide who you are as that spirit, as that energy form. You decide what your challenges are going to be that you're going to experience in this lifetime.
Okay.
And then you come through the veil of time-space and you attach to this little infant.
Oh,
But that's not you. That
No.
infant, that body, that's not you. Your essence of who you are is in your energy field.
oh, okay. Like,
And-
okay.
And so that, if there's something not working right in that
Mm-hmm.
energy field, if you're off track, you're off course based on what you wanted to experience and what you wanted to learn, then now some pain or some illness will appear.
Oh,
And so these are coded messages. And you need to understand how to decode the message that is being given to you. I'll give you an example.
okay.
Somebody starts to cough and they have a cold, they can't talk anymore, their voice is like all really bad. Well, why do they have a cold? What is going on? Well, maybe they've never been listened to. Their expression of self has never come out. Maybe they are going to have some sort of a speech that they're going to do, and they're really freaked out about the possibility that they're now going to be on stage.
Right. Their fear.
Yes, and so all these energies come up. Maybe they are not doing what they really want, because your throat chakra is your expression, is where your creativity comes out, where everything, if you're basically a creative person, but you have a 9 to 5 and you've never done your creativity, you may get something in your throat.
Wow.
And so you need to figure this out. You need to look at their symptoms,
Right.
and then you need to figure out, well, what's wrong. So one of the things that I do is I do a life essence reading where I look at somebody's energy field and I look at over 55 different criteria and figure out what is not working right. It may not be in the energy field, it may be in the emotional body. It may
Right.
be poor mind talk, that they're continuously talking to themselves in negative terms.
Right.
It can be a slew of things, but you have to look on all 4 levels that I mentioned before.
That's fascinating.
And so what is important is if you find the cause and the cause hasn't been there for long,
Right.
then by just knowing, by hearing the message and acting upon this message, now all of a sudden your illness will disappear. But if it's been going on for years and years and years, then maybe that imbalance has created the damage in your body. And then now, after you get the message, then you have to heal the damage, and you have to do it on all 4 levels simultaneously.
That's really, what is it called when people can do 3 things, 10 things at once?
Oh, no.
Multitasking, yeah.
No, I still do it one at a time, but that is called holistic healing.
It's holistic, the whole.
The whole, yes.
The whole.
Holistic healing, all 4 bodies.
Can you give us something simple that everybody can do to help themselves?
Yes, definitely. And I'm going to point out to my blog on my website, realfasthealing.com. And in my blog, there's 2 links. There's 2 things that you can do.
Okay.
One is your heart love activation. There's 2 videos, one's 15 minutes, the other is 7. Learning how to activate your heart love so that you become a net heart energy outputter, putting out more heart energy than you take in.
Oh.
When you do that, your life is just going to turn very, very magical.
Oh.
Yeah, you see, we are in a scarce society. We are into lackfulness and scarcity. And so people are like, well, where's mine? And they just get.
They're all takers.
They're
Nobody's
all-
givers.
Right. And so what the downside of that is that in this reality that we are, there's a lot of terror, fear, anger, hurt. And so when people suck that, then they absorb it all. And then they wonder, well, why am I not doing well? Well, in this heart love energy, I teach you how, first of all, you put out more heart love out of your heart chakra into your environment, but secondly, how to replenish from pure sources of energy. One is the light from your life force, and the other one is the ground from Mother Earth. So that's one thing that I recommend. And the other thing that I recommend, which is much easier, you just do it maybe once or twice a week, is to clean up your chakras.
Okay.
And the second video is how to clean up your chakras.
And how do people buy this, or is it on
No,
your
it's-
website?
it's
free,
on my
you
website.
guys. It's free. And
free.
how do we get this again? It's on
Real-
the bottom of the screen, but go ahead.
realfasthealing.com.
Realfasthealing.com.
One word.
Well, I am so happy, Daniel, the healer, that you are here and that you were here to share this with us. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, and it was
It's lovely to meet you.
a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you. Did a great job.
Thanks.
I'm very proud of you. Okay, everybody. Don't go away. I'm going to do a reading. Okay. Hey, everybody. It's Char. Please join me in Encinitas at the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. I'm doing readings on November 4th. The tickets are only $25. And then on the 5th, I'm doing a day workshop where I teach you to be intuitive and psychic. Why not learn to prevent problems and attain goals in your life? I can't wait to see you there. Okay, we're back, and I'm going to jump into a reading with Becky. We've never met before, right, Becky?
Right.
Okay, so I just need you to be open-minded about everyone living and deceased. I gave her kind of the rules during the break. And I'm going to say my prayer protection just to make sure only positive energies around us, and then we'll start. We ask the universal consciousness in God that holds the highest spiritual power of knowledge, wisdom, and truth to guide and protect us as we communicate with our guides and angels in the spirit world and tap into the wisdom of the universe. We respect this opportunity and take full responsibility to use this not for ego or controlling others, but with the pure intention of spreading love and healing life on this earth and beyond. Okay, do you have somebody deceased that's a J?
Yes, I do.
A male?
Yes.
Is it spelled J-O or J-A?
J-A.
Like James or Jack?
J.
J-A-Y-J. Oh, I think Jay's here. Is this family to you?
He was my husband.
He's your husband. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so Jay is with you. He's showing me the ring. What did you do with his ring? Or did he lose his ring?
His ring. You mean his wedding ring?
I don't know.
I have his wedding ring and my wedding ring.
Are you wearing it?
No, because I have arthritis. And
Oh, so you can't wear it.
so I took it off a while ago. They're together.
Because he says you did something with his ring.
His ring is
Okay,
in
but you don't want to lose it.
Oh, no.
I
it's
feel
in a
like you
safe
don't want to
place.
lose it.
No, I don't.
Why is he showing me? Did you have something with the windows? Did you have to redo your windows, or is there?
No, I have to redo my windows.
He's saying you're losing energy, or
Really?
I don't know if you're losing energy or something's broken or something needs to be fixed around your windows. Is that true?
Yes. The windows don't.
They don't close right?
They don't slide well. No, they're old and
Okay.
the frames are rotting in one particular place.
He's also saying there's an issue with half of the door.
yeah.
Half of a screen door or half of
Yes,
a door.
yes.
Did he fix things?
No, he fixed clocks.
He
and
fixed clocks. Well, don't tell me too much.
Okay.
Just say yes or no. But he knew how to fix clocks.
Yes.
So he did fix things. But he's showing me what needs to be done around your home, and he's saying that something needs to be upgraded with electrical.
Yep.
He's saying something's not safe. I don't know or something that has to be fixed with electrical around the kitchen or bathroom.
But yeah, the kitchen and the
Like you need to put in those. I don't know what they're called, but
I don't
something
either.
needs to be. And he said, don't be afraid to do a little at a time if you're worried about spending the money. He says you're worried about spending the money. Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, he said, so just do the things that need to be done, that have to be done.
Okay.
And he also shows me he's showing me the whole house. He's showing me something that needed to be patched with a roof or a leak with a roof
No. Those
or
are,
a patching on a roof.
no.
Do you have a garage?
Yes.
I think it's there.
Really?
There's something that, I don't know if there's a leak somewhere or a patching or something.
Okay.
Was there a break-in around your neighborhood?
Oh, some drug addict type person was breaking into cars.
Was breaking into
Regularly,
cars?
actually.
Okay, but not your car?
No, because I actually lock mine.
Okay.
My neighbors don't.
Yeah, because it's good. You need to remember to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if somebody's coming back around, but is there a light out? He's showing me a light out.
A light that's not on, you mean, that doesn't work?
Yeah.
No, I think they're all working.
Is there a street light?
No.
He's showing me a light out. When he passed away, did he play with electrical stuff?
No.
Did your lights go on and off, or you didn't recognize it if it did?
No, not that I know of.
Okay,
no.
he's showing me a light going out. I don't know what this means. It's almost like, or maybe, are you thinking of putting another light outside?
I am.
That's what you need to do, like a sensor light, that if somebody walks by, it goes on.
No, I was going to put lights in a tree that's over our picnic table.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. He's saying to put the light on outside. He knows what you're doing. He's still very much a part of your world.
These are all these things that he got crazy over when I wanted to do them. This is funny.
Well, it must be that he knows that it needs to be done now.
Right. Okay, that's funny.
And
Okay.
I feel like is there someone else that's a J or an M deceased? Like is his dad or his mom or?
But both his parents are
Deceased.
Deceased.
Is there a J or an M?
No.
Okay, who else is a J or an M? Was your mom, your grandma, your grandfather, somebody, dad, somebody? Or just J?
Jay? Well, I have my two best friends are Jackie and Jane. I mean,
Are they living?
Yes. Yeah. One in Boston, one in Hawaii.
Okay.
But I don't know of any
Okay,
other.
so they're living.
They're living.
So is that your support system?
Part of it, yeah.
Are one of them visiting or coming to see you, or are you planning to go to see somebody?
Yeah. Well, Jackie and I are going to cross paths.
Yeah, because he's saying that you're going to see one of them.
I'll probably see Jackie after the new year.
Yeah, you're going to connect with them.
Yeah.
And why am I seeing a theater?
I used to be involved with 2 theater companies.
So you were in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
Did you perform in the theater, or you work behind the scenes?
I
or?
worked behind the scenes.
And was he involved with this as well, or just you?
No, just me.
Did he get upset with you doing this, or was too much time spent around the theater?
Oh, probably. He thought the artistic director was an asshole.
Yeah, because I can see that he wasn't pleased with something about the theater, but
It took a lot of time.
Did the director have an affair?
I had an affair with the director years ago, before I even met my husband.
Oh, because he's saying that. He's telling me he's telling your dirty laundry. He's saying you had an affair, but it was with that theater director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
your
40 years ago.
husband still can't stand the guy.
That's true. Probably, yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and also now he's showing me something else about your sidewalk. Something is either needs to be smoothed out on a walkway or a driveway.
Both.
It needs to be smoothed out, or just be careful that you don't trip.
Yep. I live in the hills, so it's always shifting.
So it's always hard.
Mhm.
It's always hard. And then he's showing me the dog.
I have a dog.
Yeah. So he visits and he sees your dog. Like he visits your dog. Like it's good you have the dog for company.
Yeah.
Why is he showing me the number 7? That means something. I don't know if it's the 7th, July something, the 17th, the 27th. 7. Is that a birthday? Is that an anniversary? Is that
Neither.
He's showing me 7.
Well, the day and the month of my No, the month and the day of our wedding divided is 7. Or
Okay,
the
maybe.
day divided by the month is 7.
Maybe that's it. I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure why he's showing that to me.
I live at 3377.
Don't tell
Oh,
people where
sorry.
you live. We don't
Chicago
want any-
Street in
Yeah,
Illinois.
Yeah, there you go. And he's saying, are you ignoring your teeth, or
Probably.
like you need your teeth looked at or
That's weird.
fixed,
No.
or gums, or
Cleaned.
clean?
Gums, yeah,
Okay,
cleaned.
so you're going to do that, right?
I have an appointment.
You have an appointment? Is
Yeah.
it the first one in a long time?
No, I actually do it regularly.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So he's showing me that, okay, so that's good that you're going to do that.
He was fastidious about
His
his
teeth.
teeth. Yeah.
Did he have a squirt pick or something?
Oh,
or
the water pick?
water pick?
No, but he brushed and then he used those little tiny brushes and then he flossed.
Okay, so he was doing a lot of stuff with his teeth.
His teeth were in good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So funny. I'm less.
It's so funny that he's
Unless-
showing me the guy you had the affair with.
Yeah,
It's-
but Mike didn't even know.
Yeah, it
for a
doesn't
long
matter.
time.
Yeah.
But he really did not like him very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I haven't seen that guy in years.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
it's just validating that it's him. He's just he's just telling your secrets and saying what's going on in your world.
Hilarious.
You need to be careful of the dog outside, running outside. Does a dog run by itself outside?
No, our rule is if the dog is outside, so am I.
Okay, good. Just make sure that I think there's a coyote out there.
My housekeeper photographed a coyote in the yard
When?
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's really
You
bad.
need to be really
That's-
careful
okay.
with the coyotes out there. So make sure
Okay, that's
the
amazing.
dog is always on the leash. And
Well, I found where the coyote got in, so I have to put a fence up. Or
yeah, so you need to
Have to
fix
do
that
something.
fence.
Yes,
Here
I
we
do.
go. Another thing that needs fixing. I
He's
say
watching.
fix the fence first and the kitchen,
Okay.
the electrical. That's what I'm feeling.
Okay.
But he wants you to know that he is with you. And did you once wake up at night thinking he was sitting on the bed, or you thought he was there, but then you forgot that he wasn't there? Because he's saying he visited you at night.
Yeah,
at
he
night.
woke me up.
He woke you up. He's
woke
saying
me
it
up.
was him,
Yeah,
and
he-
it was
oh.
not your imagination.
No, he woke me up. I heard his voice. He kept on saying, "Back, get up, back." It was his voice, and the dog was in some distress, and he woke me up. That was what woke me up. Was Mike's voice.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely.
saying it was him, and it was.
It's amazing.
Oh, that's the M I kept getting. His name's Mike.
Yeah,
I thought it was J.
the middle name is Jay.
Okay, but I
Oh,
kept saying, is there an M deceased, an MJ?
Oh, I'm
JM.
sorry.
Okay, you're
I'm
not a
the-
good talk
I'm not-
show
I'm never-
guest. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing you.
You're
I'm teasing you.
I'm not
I'm
concerned.
teasing you. You're
It's okay.
wonderful. You got a beautiful energy, and it's like a
yes.
pleasure to be able to read for you and feel this. He's not going to let anybody else in. He just wants you to know that he loves you. He's waiting for you when it is your time to go to the other side. But he is saying one more thing about, did you just get new insurance or Medicare or something that needs to be redone with insurance?
Yeah, I just paid 1, 2, 3, 4 different insurance bills.
Yeah, okay.
Literally in the last 2 weeks.
Okay,
The
'cause-
fourth one today.
Yeah, he's saying just
amazing.
make sure he's glad you're on top of all this. He just wants you to know that he's only a thought away, and he's with you more than you realize.
He was afraid I wasn't going to be able to manage paying my bills.
Yeah, and don't worry, you're going to be able to do it all.
Yeah.
Because he
okay.
says you worry too much about money. You don't need that stress.
Okay.
Wait, he's showing me one more thing. The refrigerator.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is
Fine.
it an old refrigerator?
No, 10
It's a
years
new
old.
refrigerator.
10 years.
Okay. But it wasn't broken or anything or do you have something of his in the freezer or something that, did you make something that he loved or something that's in the refrigerator? Like, do you still carry stuff that he ate but you don't?
Yeah, all this awful frozen fish from this guy that delivered to us.
Okay. Is it in the
It's in
refrigerator?
the freezer.
He's saying you can get rid of it
Okay.
now. What is it? What is it that you don't want to last too long? is
Fish and guests for
fish
3
and
days.
guests. Okay. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. I
Thank you,
really
Char.
appreciate it. I
That's-
really
thank
appreciate
you.
it. Okay, everybody.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna say goodbye, but before I do, I'm gonna be at the Seaside Center for Spiritual Living on November 4th and 5th, 2016. I'm doing readings, and the next day I'm doing my intuition teaching, and I really hope that you guys will sign up. Go to char.net, char.net. And I want to thank all my guests today for being here, and I want to especially thank you guys out there who watch CharVision, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to do this. God bless you. Be well. Thanks. Bye-bye.